Thanks for staying with us. I'm Bill O'Reilly in the Culture Warrior segment tonight. Birth control and marriage. Why is the federal government funding these issues? Right now, the Fed spent about $5 million promoting marriage, not much. And President Obama wants more money to promote family planning services, code name for birth control. Federal program called Title X is currently unfunded, but Democrats want close to $700 million, more than double the amount spent last year. They point to a new study that says the money has prevented nearly 2 million unwanted pregnancies. With us now, Culture Warriors Margaret Hoover and Monica Crowley. All right, so $700 million for birth control, and then if the person doesn't use birth control and gets pregnant, then we give more money to Planned Parenthood so they can abort the kid. So my question for you is, when are we going to have dating subsidies so we can have the whole cycle? We can have the dating, the mating, and the aborting all paid for by you, by me and you guys. Doesn't that sound good?
Well, why don't we even backtrack further? Oh, that's right. We do subsidize sex education in public schools starting from 5th grade and 6th grade.
But I don't have a problem with that.
No, listen, I am with you on this. I don't think it's the government's business to be subsidizing birth control. Let's say you're a devout Catholic and you don't believe in birth control, or an Orthodox Jew and you don't. Your tax dollars are still going to subsidize a lot of these programs.
That's the abortion argument, too.
But this is the government getting involved in making cultural
for
and
the social good, though. This study says that 2 million unintended pregnancies were stopped by the 380 million.
But again, the government getting involved in making social value decisions for you at various stages.
But do the math. Do the math, Hoover. You're good at math, right?
I'm okay at math.
380 million spent on birth control. That's how much last year on Title X. 2 million pregnancies that didn't happen. So 2 into 380 is what?
Let me add a little equation.
It's 190.
Okay, but you have to also factor in how many welfare moms are now going to be on the payroll because they're single moms and they're dependent now on the government.
Okay.
So here's the thing. I think if we're going to pick a fight with Obama on his budget suggestions, I think there are a lot of places to look in his healthcare spending besides just
you're okay with
family
700
planning.
million?
Look, in principle, I don't think now is the time to be expanding this kind of funding. At the same time, I feel like there are a lot of places where he's expanding federal funding and mandatory ways that many generations are going to be on the hook for in ways that are way more egregious to conservative principles than just family planning.
But remember, during the whole debate over the $1 trillion economic stimulus package, they had a provision in here for the birth control. And exactly, and Nancy Pelosi said at the time, oh, the stimulus bill may not be the most appropriate place for this.
So the problem with that was that they were embarrassed over the word stimulus.
Stimulating what?
They said, okay,
not
look,
the economy.
This is inappropriate. All right.
Look, it didn't belong in a stimulus bill.
Let me just keep the scorecard. Culture Warrior Hoover says not upset about it. All right. Culture Warrior Crowley says out of line, shouldn't be doing it. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's go over to marriage. Hopefully people, when they get pregnant, will be married. It's a lot easier that way and doesn't drive poverty as much as single motherhood does. For you far-left loons out there, that's the truth. I'm sorry to have to say it to you. Now, the government doesn't spend $5 million promoting marriage. I mean, that's like some graffiti guy going around spraying "Please get married" on all the walls he can find. That's $5 million. So I can't get too heated about this, Crowley.
Well, it is $5 million, and it does seem like a drop in the bucket, but here's the thing. I'd rather have that $5 million of my tax dollars go to a predator drone taking out Al-Qaeda. I do not believe that it's the government's role to be making these social and value statements or lecturing to people. Listen,
well, you know, the gays are mad, and Hoover's a big gay marriage supporter. The gays are mad because they don't think that the promotion of marriage applies to them, except in Massachusetts.
You know, I looked around for that, and I didn't see that anywhere. I don't see any gays that are angry about this.
I read an article with some guy mad.
Gays want marriage, and as long as you're promoting marriage, it doesn't matter whether it's between a man and a woman, or a man and a man, or a woman and a woman.
Well, but there's only one state, so that's why they're married.
Well, it's on the ballot in 6 states now. Yeah. So, but here's the thing. I actually agree with Monica on this. Republicans shouldn't be sponsoring legislation, and by the way, this came down under the Bush administration. This is a Bush administration 2005 allocation in the budget to promote marriage. This is why we were barked out of Congress. This is why we left Washington. We were folks out there in the country said we don't want the federal government spending money telling us how to live our lives, even if we agree with the principles.
Well, wait. Here, let me play devil's advocate, because I don't care about this one way or the other, really. But if you have a society that's glorifying having babies out of wedlock, as our media does, and there's no question they do, okay? If you have that, shouldn't there be some anecdote?
Our founders intended for
antidote, not anecdote, antidote, God, I'm all fogged out today, antidote by the establishment in power to say, you know, it might not be a great thing to have all the babies and not be married.
Conservatives believe that it is cultural institutions in the country that should drive cultural agenda, not the federal government. And that's why...
I know that. Smaller government, stay out of my face.
Exactly. Right. And leave it to cultural institutions, not the federal government. So
when you talk about an antidote, the antidote should be the family, churches, synagogues, inculcating these kinds of values, not the federal government.
But here's my
more
plan.
Libertarian
My
point
plan
of
is
view
to combine the Second Amendment, all right, the right to bear arms, with the marriage debate by saying, hey, you don't want a shotgun marriage, do you? That way we encourage people to be to have their right to bear arms and bring in the marriage thing and have that message on the side.
Yes, you're not going to have shotgun marriages if you allow birth control. So
well, you never know.
There you go. We've got Shecky O'Reilly tonight. You're in rare form, O'Reilly.
I'm sorry. I'm delirious tonight, and I don't really know why, because it snowed like 3 feet here. That's probably why. The Culture Warriors, ladies and gentlemen, are bringing rare wisdom to the Factor. Reality Check is next. A Seattle cop beats a 15-year-old girl. It's caught on video. We'll tell you what happened there. And mocking Louisiana Governor Bobby Jindal. Wait till you hear this. Is it racist? Moments away.
Can Washington come together?